Hello everyone, A.B.W.L here. Welcome back to the channel for yet another tutorial video on the channel. On today's video, we're finally gonna explain the redstone stuffs, mostly basic stuffs. But before we get into the video, let's just try a little bit of an experiment. You're probably asking, why do I have totems of undying in my offhand and in my like normal hand, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna try something really stupid. We're gonna see if that cannon of end crystals can how long can it send us into the air. My game is laggy. All right, here goes nothing. You ready, boys? Oh my god, here goes nothing.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Nothing. What? Wait. Huh? What just happened? I'm actually curious, what just happened? I thought I'm gonna get launched into the air. Where's game? Personal. That is very strange. I'm sorry guys, but I need to see what actually happened. Let me... Oh, so they exploded, but like, how? I was supposed to get launched into the... Oh my god. My thumbnail is ruined, guys. My thumbnail is ruined. I can't do this anymore. Well, that's what exactly happens when you try to make something in the redstone contraptions and stuff, and it doesn't work and like really messes you up. But anyway, let's get into the video, shall we? But before we even say a single word about the redstone stuff, I just need to tell you that it is very important to know which version the redstone contraption is made in. If it's in the Bedrock, it's a different system. If it's in the Java, it's a different system. Trust me, you have to know which version it is, unless it's like a very simple thing or like somehow it works in both versions. But in majority of like contraptions, they don't work in both versions, so make sure to know if it's in Bedrock or Java. Now that we are over that goofy stuff, let's talk about redstone stuffs. So the first item that you can get through mining the redstone ore is the redstone dust. What does the redstone dust does is that it transports redstone signal through it, and as it goes further it gradually loses strength. So right now this lever is strengthening this redstone dust by power of 15. Now this one is 14, 13, 12, 11 and so on and forth until it gets to 1 and eventually 0, where if you place anything it will not work, but if you place it on the 1 they will still be functioning. So make sure to know to not pass the 15 limit. And also the blocks that are beneath the redstone can be activated, but if it's next to it and it's not a component, a redstone component, it will not be activated, nor if you place it above. But redstone components like comparators and repeaters can get activated by the redstone because the redstone dust gets connected to them, and the same goes for pistons as well. Redstone also can go through glass. If you place glass blocks like this in this shape, redstone can actually go through the little crack of the glass and go through them, so you can build vertically up. However, if a block is placed above it, it will disconnect the redstone dust from the main place, but if you break that block, you can see that it gets connected again, and it works as well if you activate it. First redstone power source is the redstone block. It is a movable object that can power up redstone components and other objects, like the redstone dust itself, redstone components like repeaters and comparators, pistons, and also power up other redstone related blocks that can be powered by redstone. It's also movable, so you can move it. The next source of power is the redstone torch. It works the same as the redstone block. It has a strength of 15 and it will power redstone no matter where it is placed. However, if it's placed like in the shape that it looks like this, if it's placed on the side of a block and a redstone dust is placed on top of it, it will click go and forth between the signal strength, and then it will turn off. That is when the torch is burnt out, and it will no longer be giving any signal strength unless the redstone dust is broken, and then it will gain the redstone power it had originally. But if you place it like this, it will burn out, so don't do this. And as you can see right here, a redstone torch can light up the redstone dust itself, and it gives a signal strength of 15 as well, and it can power up contraptions. Redstone torch also can be turned off if the block that is beneath it is powered. So this block, if I power it, this redstone torch gets lit off. However, if there's another redstone torch above it, it will get lit on, because the way it works is that the redstone torch that is beneath it is powered, so it powers this block that is beneath the next redstone torch, so it turns off this redstone torch. So if you want to connect up your redstone builds vertically, but you don't want to go like using a lot of redstone like this, or use a lot of glass, you can use redstone torches like this, and then if you power the block that is beneath it, it will turn off that redstone torch and will turn on the redstone torch that is above it. The next redstone activator is the lever, and the most used one, but the lever has a constant switch of on and the constant switch of off. It gives out a signal strength depending on if the switch is on or off, and it can be placed on any side of a block. The next redstone activators are the buttons. The buttons have two varieties, wooden ones and stone ones. Stone ones has a less redstone tick than the wooden one. See, like this is like 5 redstone ticks, I believe, and this is like 10, or it's 10 and 15. There's like 5 redstone ticks difference between the two. And another cool thing about the wooden button is that it can also be shot with an arrow, and it will stay on as long as that arrow is in there, and if the player picks it up or it despawns, it will deactivate the button. However, a stone button cannot do this because it's heavier. A tripwire hook's maximum length is 40 blocks, and if you place down 2 of them on both sides of the blocks of your choice and place down string in that place, it will connect up the 2 tripwire hooks. And if a player or a mob walks on it, it will get activated, and the blocks around the tripwire hook itself will get activated, or the blocks that are behind of it and the redstone contraptions that are behind of it will get activated as well. As you can see, that lamp turns on even though it's not technically connected to the block. Also, if you break the string with your hand, it will activate the redstone, but if it's broken using a shear by a player, it will not make any redstone pulse. Next up is the pressure plates. They're also activators of redstone contraptions. There are 4 variants of the pressure plates. There's wooden version, a stone version, a light version, and a heavy version. The stone and the wooden one pretty much works the same as the buttons. The wooden button, if you could shoot it, it will get activated, and if you shoot a stone, it will not get activated. And also, if you drop an item on the wooden pressure plate, it will get activated as well, but if you drop an item on the stone pressure plate, it will not get activated. The next one that probably many questions it is the golden and the iron pressure plate. The golden pressure plate sends out a signal strength depending on how many entities are on top of it. So right now, if I stand on it, it will give out only one signal, but if I drop multiple items, like I dropped this piston, there we go. Now it sends 3 signal strength, and it will power the piston. So it depends on how many mobs are on top of it, and the maximum length is of course 15. The same thing works for the iron pressure plate or the heavy pressure plate, but instead of just one entity, it works in groups of 10. So right now there are 10 villagers standing on that pressure plate, and it's only powering 1 redstone dust. But if I just put another villager in there, it will be on the second group, means that there are 11 villagers on that pressure plate, and now it will strengthen the redstone dust into 2, and it will power the piston. The maximum amount that you can get on top of it is 150 mobs. Do I sound tired? I feel like I sound tired, but this is where it gets interesting. Also, don't forget to subscribe. The next and the most useful block that can also activate redstone is the observer. In my last video where I used it in a farm, I briefly told you what it actually does. So it's an observer that observes any block updates in front of it, and it will give out a signal strength through the hole behind of it. And the signal strength is strong enough to power the block even behind of it. And if there's a redstone below or above the block, it will also get activated as well. As you can see, when I update the observer by placing or breaking a block, it will activate the redstone contraptions and the redstone dust either below or above it. Another cool thing about the observers is that they are movable objects. They can be moved using pistons or sticky pistons. And when they move, they will give out a block update because the block that they were originally in front of were moved, so they will give out a redstone signal towards the block that they were moved in. So you can use this in many contraptions like piston extenders or other objects. And just as I said before, it detects block updates, so if a trapdoor gets opened or closed, it will detect that update and will give out a redstone signal. This is sauce. The next redstone activator is the daylight sensor. Judging by its name, you can already tell what it does. It detects daylight, so if it's daytime, it will detect that daylight and will give out a signal strength of 15. However, if you click on it once, it will turn into night mode, meaning that if it's nighttime, it will turn on. Right now it's on day mode, but if I click on it once, it will turn into night mode and it will turn on any redstone contraption, and also it will give out a signal strength of 15. You can also power blocks that are either next to it or below it or even above it. If I can just get it, let's crouch, yeah, above it as well. Or if a block is placed below it, it will not activate the redstone that is right next to it. The next item is a redstone component, the repeater. It's not a redstone activator, however it is an extender. What a repeater does is that it gets any signal strength, even 1, and it will extend it into 15 again. So right now if I turn this lever on, you can see that this block is giving a signal strength of 1, however the redstone repeater gives out the 15 signal strength. So no matter what strength comes inside the repeater, it will extend it out by 15. You have to pay attention to the arrow that the power must be coming from behind and the extender will go out from the front. And if another repeater is placed right next to it or is going into the repeater from the side, and if it's activated, it will lock the repeater, so no matter if you turn on or off the repeater, it will stay locked. So right now it's turned on even though the power that was coming inside of it was turned off, but if I just release this one, it will get released and the redstone power will go out. Redstone repeaters also have 4 ticks. If you click on them once, it will go out and it will give out a delay that depends on how many ticks they are on. So right now it's 1, so it will instantly gives out the signal strength out. But if I just click on it once, it will be 1 redstone signal tick delay, 2 redstone tick delay, and 3 redstone tick delay. And the longer it is, the longer it takes for the redstone to be powered. The next one is the redstone comparator. Genuinely, comparators are actually one of the complicated redstone components, but I'm gonna say the basics that I've learned so you would know what they do. So a redstone comparator gives out the same signal strength that is coming inside of it. So right now it gives out 15, 14, 13, 12. So it's receiving a 12 signal strength and it should give out as 12 signal strength out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So you can see it gives out the same signal strength that is coming inside of it. And it works the same if you just place more comparators, they will still give out the same signal strength. But once again, if you just look at its name, it's a comparator, so what is it supposed to compare? If the signal strength that is coming inside of it is weaker than the signal strength that is coming into the side of it, it will get deactivated. So this one is 15, 14, 13. So it's giving out a signal strength of 13, and this one is giving out the signal strength of 12. One difference makes the comparator to be turned off, and it will not give out any signal strength any longer. And that's to be noticed that the little torch that is in front of it, if you click on it once, that the little torch will get lit and lit off every time you click on it. This is the normal mode, and this is the subtract mode. What it means that it subtracts the signal strength that is coming into the side of it, and it will give out the signal strength that is supposed to. So right now it's getting a 12 signal strength, but if I turn on this lever, it will get, let's count, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. 12 subtract 9 is 3, so you will give out a 3 signal strength of redstone. So you can see this piston gets extended, but if I place a 1 here, it will not get powered because it will only give out 3, because it's comparing the signal strength that is coming inside of it and the signal strength that is coming in the side of the comparator, and it will subtract that when this little torch is lit. If you turn it off, it will not matter, it will not subtract it, and this strength is weaker than the strength that is coming inside of it, so it will do what it wants. If you turn it on, however, it will be subtracting the signal strength that is coming into the side of it. Another thing that the redstone comparators can do is that they can detect or compare the amount of items that are inside of a container. So if this chest is filled up with items, it will give out a signal strength depending on how many items are inside the chest. The same goes for a hopper or shulker box and any other container that can be compared using a comparator. And depending on how many items are inside of that container, the redstone signal gets stronger and stronger. Another thing that the comparator can also compare is the amount of pages that is being read on a lectern. So right now it's giving a signal strength of 1 and it's on page 1, but if I go to the next page, it will give out a signal strength of 2, and it will strengthen the signal as the pages goes on until the page 15, and it will give out the full strength of 15 redstone signals. These categories that I'm going to explain are probably not really related to redstone, but I kind of wanted to include them in redstone because they are somehow connected. The first one is the hopper. If you don't know what a hopper does, what it does is actually moves any items that from like a chest is placed above it. It will take any items from this chest and it will funnel it into this barrel or this shulker box. If I just put some blocks in here, as you can see, it will empty that blocks and it will go into this chest, and then from this chest will go into this barrel. Why? Because these hoppers are connected to each other. You see this hopper is connected to this chest, and the hopper that is the chest is above it is connected to this barrel, so all the blocks will get transported into this barrel. But if this hopper is like not facing towards the barrel, it's like facing towards the ground. As you can see, like the little point in the bottom, it's like facing towards the ground. It will just stay in the hopper and it will not go anywhere. If you want to like direct the little pointy of the hopper into like items, you have to crouch down. For like most of them, you have to crouch down and then place them. So now the point of the hopper is pointing towards the chest. You can also pick up items that are dropped on top of it. The next versions are the mine carts. The mine cart with a hopper and the mine cart with a chest. A minecart with a chest can be loaded using a hopper. If you place any blocks inside of it, it will get instantly into the chest of that minecart with hopper. And if the minecart with a chest is placed on top of a hopper, it will actually empty the items that are inside of it. A minecart with a hopper, however, can pick up items from chests that are filled up with items, and it's way much faster than the minecart with a chest. You can see it has probably 3 times the speed of the minecart with a chest, and it empties very fast. It can also pick up items that are above 1 block. So if I move this minecart, you can see that it picked up all the eggs that were originally on top of this block. They also can be loaded using a hopper or deloaded using a hopper below it, either below or above. Above will get loaded and below will get unloaded. Next up is the rails. We have 4 different rails: the normal rail, the powered rail, activator rail, and the detector rail. A normal rail can curve the paths into any direction that you want. However, a normal rail can't do that, and you have to be using a normal rail to change your directions if you want. And make sure to use some other rail materials, or make sure to not make the rails connect up together like that. A powered rail can increase the speed of a minecart if it's powered on. And if one is powered, it can power 8 in 2 directions that is placed. So in total you can place 17 and power up the middle rail. So if you power it and place a minecart, you can see that it increases the speed of the minecart, but when it's not powered up, it will actually reduce the speed of the minecart, going way much slower. Next one is the activator rail. So when it's not powered, it will not do anything special, but when it's powered, it can eject mobs, prime TNT, or disable hopper minecarts. So if you move this, you can see that the mob gets ejected when it is moved on the activator rail. You can also prime TNT if it's moved on top of it. Next one is the detector rail. It detects if a rail is moving on top of it or not. So if you move a rail above it, it will give out a full strength of 15 and will activate even activator rails if it is on right next to them. And if a minecart with a chest is placed on top of an activator rail and a redstone comparator is right next to it, it can compare the items that are inside of that chest, and it can give out a signal strength depending on how many items are inside that chest. Next up is the item movers or block movers, the normal piston and the sticky piston. They can be powered directly or powered by redstone. A normal piston can push items up to 12 blocks, however after 12 blocks they cannot move the item anymore. A sticky piston, the same mechanic as the normal piston, it can be powered directly or powered using redstone. And it will pull a block and it will retract it to the first place that it was. As you've probably seen in the first explaining every single video, it can also push slime blocks and honey blocks and retract them as well. And any blocks that are attached to these slime blocks or honey blocks can also be pushed or retracted as the piston pushes them. Next up are item dispensers, the normal dropper and the dispenser. A normal dropper will drop out an item inside of it by random. So once it will drop this, as you can see, each time it's different and it's random, and it will only drop out items that are inside of it. A dispenser can do the same thing, but it will also do other stuff like shooting out an arrow, or a firework, or a fire charge, or even a trident, or even a snowball. All these items that are inside of it will get shot by using a dispenser. It can also do other stuff like dispensing water or lava, or even shearing a sheep if a shear is placed inside of it. They both can be powered directly or using a redstone. However, you must be paying attention to be powering using a direct redstone dust. But if it is like this, it will not get connected to the dropper because it doesn't see the dropper as a redstone component, so it will not connect up to it and it will not activate. But that can all be fixed thanks to the most and probably the least mentioned block, the target block. Target block has the same mechanic as the glass, so the redstone dust can go through it and connect up to itself, even though it really shouldn't. And it is one of the redstone components, so the redstone dust will connect up, even though if it's like squared. It will connect up to the target block no matter what, and it is a power block, so it can power the blocks that are above it, below it, or on the sides of it. So say if we had a situation like this, we'll use a target block to be able to prime that dropper, even though it's not even connected to a dropper, but it's a power block, so it will activate the dropper if the redstone dust is connected to the target block. And also it's a target block, so if it's hit by a projectile like an arrow, it will give out single strength depending on where it's landing. If it's a bullseye, it will be a 15 signal strength, but if it's in the outer line, it will give out a less or weaker signal strength depending on how closer it is into the middle. Oh my god, you're not gonna believe how much terrifying this video was for me, because genuinely, I didn't knew a lot about redstone. I was just like playing around with it. I was like not really sure about many of the things that I just mentioned in this video, but I'm glad that I did it anyway, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new from it, because I genuinely learned a lot of things from this, because I didn't really knew what usage even the target block had, and now I do. I may use it in some of the contraptions I make in the future, maybe, I don't know. Subscribe to the channel to find out if I'm gonna make any contraptions and for further videos, but probably in the next video I'm gonna like show some of the redstone clocks that I've learned and I know, but there are probably a lot more redstone clocks than I can just show in that video. But I'm really glad that I did this video. I'm really glad I learned a lot, and I hope you learned a lot as well, and I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment down below any ideas, any redstone contraptions you want me to build, and of course it has to be something that I can make. Like, come on guys, I can't make something like I can't make. Like, if it's something simple I can make it up, but if it's not simple, I'm sorry, I can't make it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment down below, share this video as well, and goodbye.